Watch, don't let your spouse's bad credit ruin your financial future. You may not have caused the damage, but your significant other's credit score can have a big impact on your financial future. But there are a few things you can do to help. Certified Financial Planner Joe Bert joins us now with some of the top do's and don'ts, and this is one that a lot of couples struggle with.
Yeah, oftentimes you've got one that's a spendthrift and one that understands, and your credit's important, as we've talked in the past, Tom, particularly if you're trying to buy a house, you know, because they're going to look at your credit score. You're both going to sign on the line, and if one has a great score, wonderful, and if doesn't have such a good score, you're going to pay a lot more in interest.
And you have to keep that good score, too. That's the other thing. So let's talk about some things. All right, first you say we should encourage diligence about credit card payments.
Yeah, well, 65% of your score comes on how regular you are making the payments, the amount of debt that you have. So if you're not making your payments on time, if you have a lot of credit card debt, that's going to affect your FICO score. So you want to be sure that you're making those payments, the regular payments on time. Even though if you may have a lot of debt, it's not as bad, but if you're not making those payments, regular payments on time, it can really hurt your score.
All right, and you say do not step in to wipe away your partner's missteps.
Right.
What do you mean by that?
What you don't want to do is be an enabler, because if you step in and say, you know, honey, I understand we got this thing that's been hanging over your head, and I'm going to reach into my savings, or I'm going to cash in my IRA or cash in my 401k and get you out of this trouble. It's not a good idea. What you need to do is make some adjustments in your budget. Now, that's a difficult thing to do, because both of you are against this, and you're going to have arguments, but you got to understand we're working on this thing together. Now, it's a last resort to cash in your retirement account. You know, if you're paying 18% on your credit card, you may want to borrow from your 401k because you're paying yourself back. But really, you don't want to be an enabler. You have to. Your spouse needs to understand that you're not there to step up and backstop.
Now, you say do let your partner piggyback. What do you mean by that?
Well, if you have good credit, what you may want to do is put your partner on your credit card. That will help his or her credit score. So you put them on. Now, what you got to be careful, though, they get that credit card.
Your credit
exactly,
score.
And they go out and they start buying this stuff again, and you're behind. So you want to be careful about that, but you can do that. Put that partner on you, and they don't check. You know, regardless of your partner's credit score, that your partner could be on your credit card, but you got to be careful.
All right, so you can do that, but you say do not co-sign on the dotted line.
Yeah, once again, you can't walk away from that. Once you co-sign on it, if that debt goes into default and your partner's having trouble payment, they're going to be looking at you. So once again, don't co-sign, because it is not necessarily a...
I want to get back to being diligent about your credit card payments. Right. Where do you fall on paying off your credit card every month?
Well, I'm a believer in, if you have a pile of credit card debts, you know, the worst thing to do is get those bills in on a regular rate, you know, they stack up. Pay down the smallest one first and start to whittle away on that pile. And a lot of people say, you know, go for the high interest rate, which really is what you ought to do financially, but psychologically, start paying down the small ones and get them done. Cut up the credit card and work through that pile.
Should you carry even a little bit of a balance on your credit card, though?
Well, yeah, you should have a balance, and you want to have a credit history. Okay. That's a good thing, but what you want to have is a good credit history. Yeah. Once again, pay the darn things on time and don't get it too high.
All right, Joe, always
Tom,
good to see you, my man.
Good to see you, buddy.
Have a great week.